day 3, few hours. July 2023, we will have kind of the summary of things we had. You please take a look, risk report 2023 3 July .blogspot.com. You check there that we are kind of to have a better luck in things I'm doing that sometimes affect we all as interest, especially the satisfaction we need all the time. So when you are thirsty, and the Uncle Trump is always thirsty because since you had the crackdown at the big crack on 29, you check that people has a need as thirst, but has a barrier. In general, people have the drink normally, but since you set the barrier, kind of people started to chase ways to have the satisfaction of their own needs. And this guy here took advantage of this, setting things as multiples better ways to achieve and satisfy your need. But you have also limited resources to be used at your thirst. And then you had the piracy of beverage, drinks, alcohol, and all American illicit business and crime is based on this simple model that you are having one more time here. We can check that this pattern helps to unveil things. It's a judicial theory in the United States. The state and the institution are dead structures. If misguided and carry a lot of people with, will misguide a lot of people, will do the cultural destruction to continue, including the disrespectful institutional behavior along your constitutional rules or premises. And of course that this is not a bad thing, especially by the motivation on it that in general says you can have. From this point until this time, we are doing the security plan since 1920 up to 2028. It's guided by a value that take the integrity of all things, named corruption, setting levels, multiples levels with dominance and hierarchical distribution and redistribution of power and gains. Nowadays it's nominated Ponzi scam, since you got the failure at the macro perception or conjuncture, getting the structure and the the structural index that sets the behavior of the variable which affects the function in a big perception of things. We could check this and observe that the organized crime commoditizing things and being invasive as usual, doing the interference in all things, as you can observe with the Brazil and peers. And if you raise your security at your machine, do not log at the internet or change the machine, change your area, the activity as interference still remains as harassment affecting interests on it, including the security plan. You got the commoditized things, including the bubble of values that do not exist but had been used to switch things, and the permutation observed leads to the exchanged market, but also with the limited resources, so you set preference to obtain advantage of big bubbles of things generally linked with the institutional corruption, and you sometimes has as goal get the institutional position or chair being associated with this kind of thing. When you have no integrity as an artist, a sport player, or a business to be presented at your investor group, you will be charged by a fraud against the investor. And the reversal thing is for sure a reality. When the investor has no integrity and the resources they offer or will apply in your company, business, or artist, of course that they will be charged. This was the things we had in the last 48 hours, considering the warranty presented. Have in mind that the crime isn't a higher law. Victims are for real. We need special officers accredited and upheld by the anti-crime purpose to kill variables on a neutral area procedure confirmed by the International Criminal Court and others, and have the penalties applied until the capital punishment in a regular area with the jurisdiction allowing this. In neutral area you will use policies if you want to do. Having the transparency and accountability with the courts and others affected by this invasive movement as organized crime. You check that the last thing we had is that if I did the tactical financial choke of the organized crime, reducing the access to the credit because I'm holding 37 trillion, they wouldn't be able to do operations, and operators and heads will be sent to jail. Then we'll check that the areas under financial choke will kind of be researched, setting the map of preference or quoting consumer behavior as organized crime to do their choices. In general, the infrastructure and essential basis elements at the industry like energy, oil, others. And the organized crime will be routers unveiled. In the same way, I will have this by the increasement of debt without the access as the easy credit they need. They will probably set more ways at crypto currency and elements and secondary markets. Our system of control is here, quite simple to get. I will observe that the criminal activity in general goes inside the regular area. But as you could observe, it's not something regular, because my regular area is all formed by square. They must do the transparency, pay their tax. The criminal activity do not pay their tax proper. The criminal activity took advantage of your treasury, steal your treasury. If they have the decreasement of your capacity as tax payment, of course that you will have kind of a contraction in your curve. If they steal your property, they will have an expansion in their curve, considering the entire transnational organized crime operated as a conjunction. The tax is your public investment system that supply your defense, and sometimes you cut your own resources to transfer all around by the personal interest as advantage. So as you can observe, this element and movement here inside our control proves that the organized crime at the institutional area is really aggressive. The problem of the organized crime is that they all here would like to achieve the money, have the good life, it's something okay, but the way the organized crime do is illegal. So they corrupted your area. And we guided by transference of energy considering the quantum and the astrophysics, and put the organized crime in a situation that they are all caught by a macro conjuncture, the most powerful driver. Using the Mintzberg structure, we replace the reservoir dogs to achieve levels that are not that are unveiled, that are not uncovered yet, but they are working to do not suffer serious consequences or major consequences as capital punishment, and we are achieving the points we need. We will check that after do this, I will observe that the credit as decreasement will affect everybody, and everybody here will make the will call the attention and will ask for investment as a need. You have and we have 37 trillion as investment to be researched by the antitrust justice punch cards, considering banks, USA, Europe. We research everything. If you are here as a bubble with the corruption argument, you will be sent to jail. And we will boost human resources with the integrity required to business be business. It's not a crime. The crime isn't a higher law. This movement will take the crime as dead structure from the clandestine activity that goes since 1920 to the dignity that any business deserves. But as you can observe, won't gonna happen without the prism of investors, criminal heads, and others. The choice and the trade-off is between the America and the interest of some group of not necessarily Americans, but for sure with Americans, that misguided this most powerful driver to a situation that has no turning back. If you do not accomplish the warrant you perpetrated at the justice in the United States, a treasonous act, and they had some events proving that this had been happening with some frequency, especially at your physiological argument as bank operating with beyond the capacity, setting failures on it, which is the instability at your physiological resource that you will be flowing and flooding your entire system by dependence, vulnerability, and other arguments that are on trust, an euphemism for mafia. The antitrust justice is also an euphemism for anti-mafia activity. We operate this warrant like this. If you need, we will move. We are here despite all interference by Brazil and peers, respecting nothing, including themselves. We expect the prison of them all, and consequences started from obstruction until the points affordable. Have a great day and week and holiday.